What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Cthulhu the Dark One back for another toy review. This time we're taking a look at the Nickelodeon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splinter figure. Now this is another one, if you've seen my other turtle reviews, if you don't know, pretty much out of the new, so far, what's available. Can't speak on the new ones coming, but so far what's available, basically the 4 basic turtles, example being Donnie here, which I'll bring in here in a second, but this type of basic turtle figure, since they are ooze flingers and pizza flingers now, are pretty much the best of the bunch, as far as articulation, paint, and da-da-da-da-da-da. Splinter is, I like to say, a could-have-been toy. It could have been really cool. You know, like, a couple, like, I don't know, like, it's not bad, you know, I got him for the set. It's a good representation of the character overall. But I do have some gripes, and we'll get into those. He does come with his little, presumably, dried mutagen cane. They haven't really spoken about that in the show. You just kind of see him using it as a walking stick, and you see it in the title sequence. But it's kind of a translucent green plastic, so there's that. And then you have the figure itself. First off, he's in a... Ooh, look at my dress! Anyway, first off, he's in a not straight up standing pose, a semi-walking sort of, but anyway, it's like, just give him knee joints, make him stand up. I mean, even with the robe being molded, it would still just be nice to have it like that. And as you can see, no matter how you move the legs, the robe sort of like really pushing one out or something like that, but the robe retains that basic shape of having that foot forward and that foot back. Of course, then also to balance, as you see, his one foot is angled and the other is not. So in order to even just balance him, basically, you would have to have this one back. Or really far forward, I guess. It might work. I don't know. But yeah, it's like, just have him stand up. But, so there's that. His tail does move a little bit. As far as the detail on the figure, that's another gripe that could have been. Again, I know these things are, you know, $8, and I do appreciate them being affordable $8 figures, but it's like, we couldn't get some kind of turtle symbol, you know, like their symbol on the back here, and not to mention this horrible, ugly seam going up the back where the 2 pieces of the robe meet. Again, could have been. And then we move on to the paint on the face and head. And wow, in case you don't know, this is really, it's accurate-ish to the show. And by that I mean, he does have a black stripe around his eyes that go down to his nose. Other than that, oh, and the black dot on his head. Other than that, that's about where it is. This looks like a frickin' panda or something. Or gerb, I don't know. It doesn't look like a giant rat to me. It is way too much white here. The brown is almost reddish to the point, like, it has just enough red to not be brown enough to look wrong. But this whole face region here is just, boy. I mean, like I said, I know it's kind of a relatively inexpensive figure, but it's like, I mean, let me double check something before I say it real quick. Okay, never mind. I was going to say they got his pupil and his little eye dot in there, but they couldn't, you know, but they didn't. He does have just a brown pupil in there. I mean, like, the kind of, see if the camera will get it here, the kind of, like, spiky detail there, like, coming, like, you know, like it's fur blending in, that's really nice, you know, for its size, but it's just, it's way too much white. And to be honest with y'all, I might take a Sharpie and, you know, a black Sharpie and just color some of it in or add something to it to break it up because it is just way too much. I don't think I'm really alone on that opinion. He looks like a panda or not a rat. But other than that, I mean, you know, he gets his little ratty hands and his tape. I mean, it's pretty basic. Not much posability. You can rotate the head side to side. Actually, can go all the way around. Shoulder, it has a good ball and socket joint. However, it's just hindered by the molding of the figure. Which can rotate as far as it pushes in towards him. And there it is, fully extended. Then here, I guess at his elbow, or what would be his elbow, his arm rotates back and forth or around. Same on that arm. There is no, oh wow, it does actually have a waist joint. Like, you can turn the legs side to side. Like I said, again, that's kind of pointless to the way the robe and legs are molded, because you'll have to have them kind of like this anyway, unless, he does have peg hole in that foot, so unless, you got like a play set or something you can peg them onto and keep them steady. But, for just standing around, you're going to have his legs, something like that, just to get him to stand. Overall, it's like I said, it's a could-have-been figure, and that's a lot of what the Turtle line has been, like, other than the Turtles themselves, of course, them being the exceptions. Like, you can go watch my reviews. They're here on my channel. They'll be in this playlist. There's just, like, so many little missed chances. And I don't know whether it's due to the, like, the fact that they are kind of a cheaper figure or a cheaper toy or what, but it's just little itty-bitty things that could have made it really a lot better. And I brought out Donnie earlier for a size comparison. Obviously, he's nowhere near in scale, or correct scale. About the only one he looks halfway right next to is Michelangelo, but that's because Michelangelo only comes up to, like, here, which is roughly where Donnie comes up to. Donnie usually seems to come up to about his chest in the show. Now, granted, he isn't standing straight up, but even then, that would be pushing it, I think, because his leg isn't bent all that much. It kind of is. It's hard to say. Maybe if he was standing straight up, he may be better scale. But the point is, he isn't. So it is kind of off-putting. So there's that. If you don't know how big Donatello is, here it is next to a 12-ounce can of Coke. Overall, not a bad toy. Like I said, the paint on the face could use a little work. But, it's like, I love the show. I'm going to get basically a general assortment of the figures. Probably get one of each. At least the main characters, anyway. Yeah, it's just kind of like, with the Foot Soldier, the Krang, Shredder, Metalhead, they all could have just been just a smidge better if they had made a couple different design choices, but needless to say, they didn't. Like I said, luckily they are only about $8, so it's not like you're paying, like Marvel Legends, I'm looking at you, paying $15 for a toy. But well, they're almost worth it, but that's a whole other set of videos. But anyway, 2012/13 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splinter figure. Overall, I give it out of 10. I'd say I give it a 5 out of 10. It's worth owning to have for a set. But other than that, it could use some work to be a little bit better. But till next time, stay tuned.